You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today's tip comes from Robbie Kellman Baxter. Robbie is a consultant, speaker, and the author of 2 best-selling books, The Membership Economy and The Forever Transaction, and hosts the podcast Subscription Stories. Robbie has more than 20 years of experience providing strategic business advice to major organizations, including Netflix, Microsoft, and the Wall Street Journal, as well as dozens of venture-backed private SaaS businesses. Here she is.
In a traditional business, the goal of selling is to get the customer to buy. That moment of transaction is when you're done. Hooray! And then you go out and sell the next account. It's like big game hunting, and you've brought in that woolly mammoth and left the carcass on the floor of the cave while you go out and find the next big animal. But today, with software as a service and an emphasis in many businesses on recurring revenue rather than on that initial transaction size, the goal is to get the customer to come and stay. In this membership economy, it's all about building a long-term relationship with an emphasis not just on the initial transaction, but on extending and expanding that transaction over time. If you need to optimize for lifetime customer value, you need to bring in the right customer, a customer who is going to get value out of what they're buying on an ongoing basis. And then you need to optimize the customer experience for engagement and retention. This means that it's not enough to close the deal. You also want to make sure that they are onboarded for success and that your colleagues are tracking engagement as well. The sale itself is going to be easier because the upfront price is lower and the implementation is faster. But suddenly, it's critical that the customer is actually using the product and encouraging their colleagues to do the same. Instead of big game hunting, now what you're doing is a lot more like farming.
If you'll click over to DailySales.Tips/720, we've got a link where you can get some free goodies from Robbie, including a copy of an excerpt of her new book, The Forever Transaction. You can also connect with her on LinkedIn, check out her podcast, and more. DailySales.Tips/720. Once you've done that, be sure to come back tomorrow for another great sales tip. Thanks for listening.